I think we should be live. Yeah, this one's gonna be like a super quick stream. Oh wait, did I move? Yeah, I didn't. Okay, thank God it's locked. All right. Yeah, anyway, so this is gonna be a super quick morning stream. It's honestly just up until my brunch arrives, which I think I should finalize the order right now. Let me just do that. Because I am intensely hungry, and I am honestly just gonna do this up until my food arrives, which should be about 40-45 minutes. It'll take a little bit of time. Hey Jan, what's up? What's up, man? How's it going? How's it going? What time is it for you there? It should be a bit in like close to the afternoon, right? I suppose sometime around 1 p.m. ish. Going bad today? Oh. What have you been up to? Failed your GED test. Oh man. Shit. Okay. That's bad. Like how many tries do you get? Like how does the test framework work? How many tries do you get? Okay, cool. It's gonna be a super short stream. I just since I wasn't able to stream yesterday, just woke up way too late. I decided to go live today, but yeah, it will be relatively short because I do have to sort of start working at like sometime before 12. Unit you pass on GED ready. Not sure I follow. Wait, what's a GED like? Hang on. It's just here. This one. Official exam would not be more than 3 or 2. I see. Okay, interesting. So like 2 or 3 tries. All right. Because we have like the entrance exams, like the main entrance exam in India for national colleges is basically you have 2 tries, exactly 2 tries, and you have to do them in successive years. So it's like if I write the exam this year and I don't get a great rank, I can only retry next year. And if I don't retry next year, I lose the chance to retry. At least that's how it was when I wrote it. I'm not sure if the rules have changed now because it's been a while. I wrote it back in 2013. Early 2013 was when I wrote that paper. So it's been a long time since then. It's been like 8 years now. So it might have changed, but yeah, that's generally how it was for many years. Basically, you get 2 tries and you have to take the second try exactly a year after the first try. You don't really have any other options. So that makes it a little bit unfortunate. Like it's one of those exams which it's just you really have only one shot at it. Really, you do have a second shot, but the second shot, very rarely do people perform like significantly better the second time they try it. So that's the problem with like the way the Indian entrance exam tests are made. So that like it causes a lot of like unnecessary pressure on people who are actually like writing it. For the students, right? It causes a lot of unnecessary pressure. Like it's the sort of thing where you prepare your entire life for this exam. That sort of thing. But I find that American exams in general tend to be a little more chill. Like in the sense that you can actually retry several times and all that. They do, some places, some colleges, etc. do require you to produce your like all the scores from every single time you gave the test, but other colleges just require you to give like the best top 2 scores that you got or the top 3 scores that you got, and they're fine with that. So I guess it works a little bit better. There are calls for the GED to be abolished. Very interesting. I'm actually not familiar with this testing framework. Test taker has United States or Canadian high school academic level skills. All right. It's an alternative to the US high school diploma. I see how this works. All right. Passing score is 155. Last time I got 153 and today I got 146. Ooh. What's up, Time Lord? How's it going? 153. Ooh, wow. That's so close. That is so close to the cutoff. Like, yikes. Ooh. Alright. I forgot to sign a merge commit 9 commits ago. Now the PR is blocked. What? Why do you have to sign merge commits? Why do you have to sign merge commits? Okay, wait. Huh? Okay. Wait, is the merge commit? All commits must be signed. That's stupid. That's just dumb. That's just stupid. Merge commits shouldn't require to be signed ever. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Why would you sign a merge commit? You're not supposed to add any logic. Signed as in using GPG. Wait, what? No. Why do you need to manually do this? What do you mean you forgot to sign? Cryptographic signing. I'm so confused. Shouldn't this be some sort of like a post commit or a post merge hook automatically then? If it needs to add like your GPG public key to it, shouldn't that be like automatic? Why do you need to remember to do it? Okay. Oh, you switched laptops and the setup wasn't there or something. Okay. All right. So as long as the commit isn't pushed, you can always rebase. You can always rebase and go like, as long as you haven't actually, like, by pushed I mean, obviously on your actual branch. If you have pushed it and it's on a side branch of yours, you can abandon that branch and rename the branch in your local and push it again. So like, let's say it's pushed to like, Time Lord dev or whatever. You can just push it to a temporary, like, ideally you should have like branches for each of your features. So it's like whatever, Time Lord -feature 1, you can just push it instead to a new branch called Time Lord feature 2. And that's after you perform the rebase. So basically you can rebase it, and in the interactive rebase, just hit edit on all the commits. It doesn't show merge. I think that might be a flag for you to be able to do. Get rebase merge commits. Okay. Rebasing, it'll simply drop merge commits from the to-do list. I think there'll be a flag. Yeah, there you go. I told you. Rebase merges. Interactive rebase and edit the merge commit, redo, blah, blah, blah. Drop merge commits. With rebase merges, the rebase will try to preserve the branching structure within the commits. Yeah, so you can then do edit. So this is similar to what you need to do, I think. You can just, pretty sure this is what you'll need to do. You can do it because a merge commit isn't really anything special within Git. The only thing is it has multiple parents. You tried this, it didn't work. Why? If you use edit, you should be able to like edit or amend or yeah. So edit the E flag. It didn't do anything. Interesting. I don't know. There might be something in here which lets you do it. I'm pretty sure this should be your answer. But yeah. The flag didn't do anything? Interesting. Rebase merges option. Drop merge commits from the to-do list and put the rebased commits into a single linear branch. With rebase merges, the rebase will try to preserve the branching structure within the commits that are to be rebased by recreating the merge commits. Any resolved merge conflicts or manual amendments in these merge commits will have to be resolved or reapplied manually. I know how to amend and rebase. Yeah, I'd expected as much, but you can't be too sure. Merge conflicts and manual amendments in these merge commits will have to be resolved or reapplied manually. Yeah, that makes sense. But apart from that, this should work. Do you need the merge commit, by the way, specifically, or can you just keep the changes? Because if that's the case, you can just like rebase it as though it's a linear history, right? I mean, look, you are already sort of changing the commit history in a certain sense. Spell the flag wrong, that's a possibility. Do check. Although if you spell a flag wrong, I think Git will tell you about it. Like Git won't really run the thing with a misspelled flag. I don't think it just silently ignores the flag. I don't think that's what it does. Unless there's like a config that you've set to make it do that. But is what? No, you don't have to force push. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't have to force push. Is this already merged? it's not merged into master, right? Why would you have to force push? You should never force push, ever. Like, in fact, your repository should be set up to hard reject force pushes of any kind on any branch. Ours are, by the way. Our Git repositories, the ones we have, I told you, like, we're doing a migration to GitLab, but yeah, every single repository completely force push. No. Why? Push to a new branch. Just abandon that branch. Delete it. Delete that branch. Push to a new branch. It's a temporary branch, dude. It's a separate branch which is owned by you. You should be able to push to a new branch. Don't force push branches. Never force push. Just don't force push, because if you force push and somebody has pulled that commit down on it fucks up with their local repository. So just don't do it. Never ever force push. There are zero reasons to force push if you're using a sane release strategy. Just a sane, Git workflow. Absolute zero reasons. You should never do it. That's what I said, right? Like, so rebase, rename your branch pointer. You can rename your local branch pointer. That'll detach it from because the branch tracking is at a branch level. So it's like the branch, your local branch is tagged with the upstream branch. What do you call it? I forgot the name. Your local branch is set to track the upstream branch. The upstream branch is set to track the local branch, whatever, right? And if you rename your branch, it's essentially just creating a new branch. So the upstream branch is no longer associated with this. So then you can do another git push -u with the name of your new branch, right? And that'll push the same commits onto a new branch, and you can just like abandon this one. You can just delete it on the remote repository. So GitLab lets you do that, like, pretty easily. I don't know what GitHub stream you guys are using, but I think it's GitHub probably, but yeah, that'll also let you do that. So you can just like delete the branch on the remote, abandon your pull request, just create a new one. So yeah, don't force push to your branch or otherwise. IntelliJ. Man, you know this extension that I have? Chrome has this functionality inbuilt now. So I'm using Firefox, but Chrome has this functionality inbuilt now. It's like if you hit Control-Shift-A, there's actually a small, like, similar to this, there's like an arrow button on that side, but while this shows all the tabs that I have open, the one on Chrome actually shows you the visited tabs in the order of visiting, basically, right? So your most recently visited one is on top. So like LRU ordering, it just has that. Man, I do git reset head. I've never run that command. I've run it once. I've like once when I was fixing a broken repository. I've never run it on a normal basis ever. It's like to the point where I don't actually remember the exact syntax. I'm like, wait, are there any flags? Is there something? And I Google it all the time. But yeah, I've run this exactly once. I've run git reset before in other means, but this particular thing, I've run this exactly once. That was recently, as a matter of fact, just a few weeks ago. What do you run that for? You never undo commits? Not really. I rebase them sometimes. So sometimes I just make a whole string of commits and I might rebase and squash them, but I never undo commits. No, I don't do that. I don't see the point. Why would I ever undo a commit? Like if I'm trying to do like experimental change, I usually get rid of my branch first. Like I either go into a detached head state or I create a new temporary branch branching off from my current branch. I typo in my commit message or I have a brain fart. Those don't happen to me while I'm writing commit messages. I write commit messages super carefully. I don't write like I don't write one-line commit messages, for instance. So like almost ever, I don't write one-line commit messages as a general rule. So because of that, I don't generally typo commit messages because I read them thoroughly. Like they are pieces of documentation for me. So yeah. Plus on SVN, it's a whole different thing. You can't actually typo a commit message and do anything about it, because if you commit, it goes to the server. A commit is a push basically in SVN. So you don't actually have the option to typo. If you typo, it's there. That's all. Like, fuck you. You have a typo now. So generally speaking, I just don't. Why is my PC feeling a little bit sluggish? Okay, now it's fine. It was slowing down a little bit. I was able to see frames, which was weird. I played some Apex in the morning. It was fun. I actually got fairly good games, which doesn't happen very often. Alright. What was it I was doing? I actually wanted to change this test. I think, yeah, I still haven't asserted jack shit. So assertions for live data. Right. So I wanted to do something here. I did add that architecture testing over here. I wanted to basically observe. Okay, so there's some weird shit that I have to do. I seem to remember, which is this class, which they were just like copy paste this class, because you can't actually test live data without having something like this. I don't know why this isn't a part of the library itself. It should be, but for some reason it isn't. They should add this as an extension method. I don't know why they don't do this. Like, yeah. All right, so supposed to go into a live data test util thing. All right, so project Android testing. Wait, let's just quickly home in on this one. Actually, why is it in project? I should just keep it in Android. All right, so let's put this in the test directory. New Kotlin class file, live data test util. All right, and don't ask again, cancel. I like to add those manually. All right, so this should now. All right, so what is this doing, right? All right, so it's an extension method on live data, which basically takes in 2 seconds by default of time, and it says, well, after observe is just an empty method for now. It's like do nothing, but you can provide a method over here which returns nothing. Like it's you can basically do a method call, which gets invoked over here. I think I should be able to just do this. Yeah, I should be able to do that. So it just calls after observe, but that's after you observe it, right? So the way this works is it creates a countdown latch initially, and you create an observer here, which basically says, all right, so I have this data. It sets, okay, so it sets the data, right? Okay, right. So it sets whatever is the emitted data essentially, right? The observer collects the emitted data over here in this data variable. It counts down the latch. So yeah, decrements the count of the latch, releasing all waiting threads if the count reaches 0. If the current count is greater than 0, then it's decremented. If the new count is 0, then all waiting threads are re-enabled for thread scheduling purposes. If the current count equals 0, then nothing happens, right? So it counts the latch down, and then it calls remove observer, which is at the top level, right? So I get the await value. Wait, where is remove observer defined? Oh, okay, it's part of live data. All right, so yeah, all right. So it says to remove this observer from the live data, because now the observer's job is complete. It has observed the data, and finally you return this data over here. More importantly, you set, okay, so this is, you define the observer and then you observe forever, and now there's a try catch which basically awaits the latch, right? So it causes the current thread to wait until the latch is counted down to 0 unless the thread is interrupted or the specific waiting, right? So it makes sure that within this time unit you kind of have this latch the latch has to be counted down, which means that onChange has to be triggered. Otherwise the live data value is not set. So it gives a 2-second timeout for it, right? I feel like there should be an easier way to do this. Especially Kotlin has to be providing some sort of concurrency primitives, right? Like, no? I don't know. It just feels weird that all of this extra boilerplate is necessary for such a simple task. Just wait for 2 seconds. Like, make sure that this thing is done within 2 seconds sort of thing. After observe, don't wait indefinitely, blah, blah, blah. And then finally you remove the observer anyway. Even if you have an exception, right? So await returns true if the count reaches 0 and false if the waiting time has elapsed. So if you get a false, it basically means it's a timeout exception, right? All right. Yep. Okay. Cool. This makes sense. It's just, why is this not part of the library? I honestly don't get this. All right. So all I need to do here now, as far as the test is concerned, is, so normally speaking, I would have had to create an observer and all that stuff, but now I don't need to do any of that. As long as I write this, I can just use get or await value. So all I need to do is write this particular thing, right? So I just have to task view model dot new task event dot get or await value. Yeah, that's it, right? And I need to call you with nothing, right? That's it, right? So you do this, and that's just the value. And after that, so the type of value in this case is, it's an event of unit, right? But we basically need to assert that we have triggered, like the event is handled, right? So the way we do that is basically by calling this, right? Get content if not handled, right? So assert, wait, what the hell is assert that? Oh, is there an assert not? Not same, huh? Is not null. Oh, so assert not null should be present, right? Value dot get content if not handled, right? That's it. I don't know what the hell all of this is. I think this is like Hamcrest. Yeah, it's Hamcrest. Okay. I don't know if this is easier to read than this. This seems pretty easy to read for me. Assert not null this particular thing, right? I don't know. I feel like I'm not gonna bother with Hamcrest anyway. Did I import truth? Probably not in this one. Truth. I didn't. Okay. Not in this one. I think I did in Plutus. In the actual application, I believe I did. No, not yet. I'll probably do that soon. Legacy support? Who added this? I don't remember adding this. Alright, so a bunch of outdated libraries. We can update all of that. Oi! How are your short backspace keys? What are you talking about? Oh, my backspace key is, yeah, it's a regular sized key. What do you mean, how are they? They work fine. They're okay. I'm not really sure what kind of question you're asking. So at this point, that test has to pass, right? So if I added this, I run this. If I recall correctly, your keyboard is Bharat Gold. Yeah, that's correct. That is correct. It's this one. TVS E Gold Bharat. Yes, it does. I mean, that's where the backspace key should be. So open image in new tab. It should be this thing is the backspace key. So yeah, I mean, the backspace key is the same size as all the other keys. So what is your question? Yeah, see this one. Does it feel weird? Not really. You have to understand, I've been using this keyboard for I've been using this keyboard for 7 years now. about 7 years, right? I bought this in early 2014, I think. Early 2014, maybe late 2013, right? But most likely early 2014. But yeah, I've been using this for a while, right? 7 years now. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of used to it. I know exactly where backspace is. I hit it all the time. But backspace is a bummer. I mean, yeah, I guess it just depends on what you're used to. I don't think it's a deal breaker of any kind, if that's what you're asking, right? I don't think it's like a deal breaker of any kind. I think it's all right. It's all right. It works. Right? It works pretty well. So that shouldn't be a problem. I feel like, yeah, for me, certain deal breakers exist, right? In keyboards, like I can use like a 10 key less, right? A 10 key less is okay because like a 10 key less is just a regular keyboard except without the numpad. But I need dedicated function keys, and I need a dedicated insert, delete, home, that entire thing, and the arrow keys. I need those dedicated because I have too much muscle memory built up where I hit those things, right? Ideally, I'd like to have a dedicated numpad as well, which is why I have a full-sized keyboard. I prefer full-sized ones. I can work with a 10 key less. I can't work with anything below that. For me, those things are deal breakers because they are essentially, the key itself is gone, right? The key itself is missing. But small backspace key, big backspace key, I don't give a fuck about any of that. Vim user doesn't need any of those. Do you not need insert? Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, I use insert all the time because on the command line, shift insert is the actual only reliable way to paste. Right? So like if I copy this, shift insert is the only reliable way to paste. I have not seen anything else that works universally. So yeah, I like shift insert. I like having a full-size shift key and a dedicated insert key. I've seen keyboards which don't have a dedicated insert key, and those are immediate deal breakers for me. Like you can hit insert, but it requires you to press some sort of a combination, like, hit function something and, delete or whatever. It requires you to hit 2 or 3 keys. I can't deal with those. I can't deal with them. Control Shift V. I don't think Control Shift V works here, does it? No, Control Shift V doesn't work here. So it doesn't work on all consoles. It works in some. It doesn't work on all. Control Shift V on Git Bash inserts some sort of invisible character. I don't know what it does. So yeah, it's just this. Like it's a thing that I find shift insert works everywhere and not everything else works everywhere. So I'm just too used to it now. It's just about muscle memory, right? It's like how much. I'm like, why would I spend money and pick up something which I can't actually work with? So that's just my thing about it. Also, I should probably close this. I have to decide on our final year project. Oh, good luck with that. Good luck with that. I actually got struck by a very interesting source of inspiration for mine. For my final year project, like it was like essentially I was watching Steins Gate, the anime, and I found that the dubbed version of Steins Gate, the English dubbed version, was insanely good, far better than like the subbed version. So in my opinion, right, like the sub version is good, the dub version is insane. It's just the main character really brings out a very, very different dimension to Ho in Kyoma. So I basically went like, okay, this is great, and I was watching it, but I was like, I'm missing the subtitles, right? So I was looking for subtitles for it, and I basically didn't find anything which, like, the Japanese, like the subtitles for the Japanese, this didn't match the English text, right? It was just a translation of the Japanese audio, so it didn't actually match the English, the English audio. So what I did was, so I managed to find a website which had a transcript of every single episode in English, right? It had a transcript, which means it's just the text, but it had no timestamps. So my project was actually motivated by that. So what I did was, like, essentially I wrote something which would, and this was in Python, by the way, but it was like essentially which would take an audio file, etc., and it would pass it to essentially a speech recognizer, and that part was not part of my project, right? That was just like any pluggable library. You could use the CMU pluggable library, whatever it is. It would generate a list of words with timestamps, right? Like, because that's what your text to speech does. Speech to text does, right? The speech to text, like, it essentially gives you the words along with when they were spoken, millisecond level timestamps. So you could use that, and the transcript itself is a clean text. The text that is automatically generated as such, like, let's say YouTube, you have those automatic captioning, right? That's dirty. Like, we call that the dirty text sample, which had the timestamps, and then we had the clean text sample, which didn't have the timestamps. And then all we did was sort of just used edit distance, because it was good enough with like a sliding window to be able to match for every sentence in the clean text, like sort of every line in the clean text, a start timestamp and an end timestamp. So you could generate subtitle files pretty easily as long as you had a as long as you had a transcript. So all you needed was, like, essentially, if you had a transcript, like, if you just had the words, right, all you needed was the list of, like, you just needed somebody to transcribe the words, but you didn't need them to align it. So it was essentially doing subtitle alignment, and this was like, it was entirely motivated by Steins Gate, which I never actually used the actual project on, now that I think of it, right? And I don't even know if I still have the source code for it, because I didn't really push it anywhere. It was mostly running on my own system, my previous laptop at the time, but it was just about 400 lines of Python code, and it did practically nothing. My advisor was very, very impressed with it, thought it was some sort of research level project. I was making it repeatedly clear to her, directly to her face, that, hey, this is not a research level project. This is dog shit. This is nothing, right? And this is like super, super simple. It is like, if you actually understood what I was doing, you would laugh, right? And she was having none of it. She was like, no, this is great. We should publish this. And I was like, no. And we did. I made sure it wasn't published or anything, because it was fucking embarrassing. It was just so simple. But it was nice. It was fun to do. I did it. I paired with a friend of mine, and we both did it, and we both got like really, really good grades for that. And it shot up my CGPA by a significant amount, because it was 6 credits, which was the highest credits of any single course, and I got an S grade on it, which was kind of amazing. Uni. It's a group of 3. They have web experience, and I have an Arduino kit. Oh, that's interesting. You can do a lot of very, very interesting projects with that. You can do a lot of stuff using the web. You can write visualizations for a lot of things. So yeah. Miscellaneous ideas we had: interactive algorithms visualizations, a compiler visualizer and runner, a fitness tracker made using Arduino Nano, and a mobile app. I think the third one is probably the best idea. Out of the other 2, I don't see where the Arduino fits in. Like, for interactive algos visualize, and don't do interactive algorithms visualizations. Lots of people will do this. It's just, I don't know. You're better than this. I would tell anyone else to do it. I'm aware of, you can do better than that. So yeah, interactive algorithms visualizations, probably not. The last one seems pretty good, because if you have an Arduino and you have web experience, then, of course, like, the ideal thing would be to use the Arduino for some sort of like a IoT / portable thing, and then you can use the web for visualizations, so of anything, of the data that you collect or whatever. So a fitness tracker seems to be a pretty good thing. Write a Lisp compiler or linter, Kappa. Or maybe a C compiler. Why? What does that have to do with either of what he said, like web dev or Arduino? It has nothing to do with either of them. Profs are dumb. True, mostly. Another idea I had was to create a better grep tool, which will be able to search functions and classes from a folder and show them directly in the browser. Wait, doesn't that already exist? Actually, wait, that might not. That actually sounds pretty interesting. Functions and classes from a folder. But okay, so entirely on text parsing, that sounds like a lot of busy work, honestly. That's kind of, it's not, I know it's not necessary to use the Arduino, but if you have it, might as well use it, right? Like, I wouldn't use it because I am not super comfortable with it. I have seen Arduino code. I've never written Arduino code, and I'm not generally familiar. Like, I'm not super comfortable with stuff on the low level. But if you're fairly comfortable with it, and if you've been working through the kit and all that stuff, then that's pretty good. That's not a problem. Fuck them, fuck grades, fuck CGPA. Yeah. Yeah, CG, especially in Indian universities, is kind of it's kind of stupid. It's not ideal at all in terms of what it actually does. Like how it promotes you to, sort of do stuff academically. And the main problem is like CGPA in India is at most universities is just false. It's motivated by a lot of bias from the professors and all that stuff, and the unfortunate problem is like foreign universities, where they do grade better, they don't really see that most Indian colleges aren't like that, and then they just consider CGPA as, because obviously, right, academia will always trust academic performance. They will always trust the numbers that come from other colleges. But even then, like, I feel like after so many years, they should have recognized that it's not an accurate measurement at all. Web could be some Arduino front end. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. You could use it for visualizations. You could use it for anything like that. Not bad. 500 stars. Holy shit, that's insane. That is great. But yeah, I think the grep tool also sounds interesting. Like, it kind of depends, like, who is your advisor and a bunch of other things. Based on that, you might want to tune what you're doing. I don't know if your advisor is actually like helpful. Our advisor left us alone. She was very clear about that. I'm going to leave you guys alone. And we picked her because she was going to leave us alone. Like, we already had an idea in mind. We didn't want to do any of the suggested papers and suggested, so the profs sometimes have their own like projects that you can go to them and they'll give you like some sort of like mid-level research project, something like that. And those are just annoying to work on. So we didn't want any of that. We already had an idea. So we were like, yeah, whatever. We're just going to do it. Considered manipulating C Python source code to do what ZXPY does. That is an interesting idea, yeah. But it's like, yeah, it's something which it'll take time. Like, you'll have to put it forward as like a proposal. So that's the main thing. You'll have to put it forward as a proposal. It'll have to be approved before you can actually go ahead and, I don't think it's like you can just directly go drop in a pull request and expect it to get approved. So on a variable, only a string literal. ASTs don't have time confirmation. Oh, it gets stripped before it goes into the AST, doesn't it? Right. Fork or separate project? What? Why would you create a fork of CPython? That would require you to maintain that fork. Like, I mean, maybe you could create a fork and use it personally, but also why? Like, I don't know. Like, Python updates fairly frequently. You'd want to keep the any improvements that you're writing. You'd want to keep that part of the main line. Why not? What are you talking about? Why would you make a pull request to Oh, as a uni project. Okay. Oh, I completely... Okay, I thought he was just talking about... Okay. As a uni project. Then, yeah, I guess, yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, sure. It sounds like a good idea as well. You can do that. I don't know if... Okay, but here's the problem, right? Your professors are going to be grading this. I don't know if it'll seem impressive enough, is what I'm saying. Like, it's pretty impressive from like a technical standpoint. It requires you to understand CPython structure and all that. It's not a very straightforward task, unless, like, of course, CPython makes it super easy to do a change like this, which I don't really think they would have had this sort of like an extension in mind. But even otherwise, but the thing is, like, I don't think it'll look super interesting to your professors. Like, it would be like, no, it's not about demotivation. I would say that it's pretty good as some sort of a hobby project. It just doesn't sound like a very good idea as a final year project. You need something which actually looks impressive on the surface. It doesn't have to be impressive with the underlying stuff. It needs to look impressive on the surface. Stuff like good visualizations, etc. Graphs, it always was like, wow, okay, the profs get like super impressed by that. I'm just saying this for your grades, man. It's like, yeah. Fuck uni. My current job is to work on MyPy. How fucking cool is that? Wow, really? Amazing. That's great. Deep Source is making you work on MyPy. That's really good. That's really good. I wish more companies did this sort of thing. Like, let you work on open source projects as part of your job. Right? Like, because let's face it, every single company uses open source projects all over the place, right? But rarely do they ever contribute back. And it kind of sucks. So front-end people get all the praise. Yeah, I mean, it's just the nature of things, right? If you don't understand, technically speaking, what's going on, like if you don't understand it from a technical standpoint, you're obviously going to look at how good it looks on the front end, right? How impressive it looks on the front end. My project looked super impressive. It was very simple. And I made that very, very clear to my advisor. It was very, very simple, but it looked impressive. And so they were very happy with it. Right? It produced like essentially subtitle output, which like an SRT file, which I could attach to a video and play. Like, okay, video has no subtitles and now it has subtitles. All I started with was a plain text file and now I have an SRT file, and you know, I could actually play that as a video with the subtitles below it, and they were super impressed by that. It's just the way it looks, right? The way it's presented. That's all that matters. So, yeah. Yeah, they are. I mean, that's kind of the point, right? Because they aren't smart enough to understand what goes into the project, to understand the actual work behind it. That's the exact reason why I'm telling you to, you know, do something else. Like stuff with visualizations, like what you had mentioned earlier, like the fitness tracker with visualizations will look super impressive. So yeah, it's just one of those things. It's probably easier to do, maybe less interesting, but it's just something that looks good on their end, and it's like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's all that matters. I doubt they've even programmed a URL shortener. Out of us, I don't know. I feel like Time Lord is the only person who has programmed a URL shortener. I haven't bothered with programming a URL shortener, but then again, yeah. Education in India is bad. I mean, yeah, I guess. As a general statement, I think that's true. Of course, there are pockets of like good education in certain places and all that. Where's my food actually? I should, yeah. Oh, it's already here. Damn. Oh, okay. What am I trying to do? View model tests. I don't remember how these are done. Alright, so this is like the same thing, right? So write one on your own, practice writing another view model test. Okay. So this is pretty cool. Like the architecture of this is pretty fucking amazing. Wait, what? For my latest project, I made a starter template for Python projects. Then fucking Brett Cannon pushed PEP 665 immediately. Oh, I don't know what PEP 665 is. Oh, is it like a starter template, basically? File format, list the Python package installations for a project. List of projects is considered exhaustive for the installation targets and thus locked down, not requiring any information beyond the platform. I guess it's good though. Now it's part of the standard, so you know, more people. It just improves the language. What the hell? Why did it open twice? Yeah, I mean, this was already opened, right? Basically turning PyPy into NPM. Okay. I mean, I wasn't actually familiar with how. I thought, wasn't there already a standard for the way this works? for the way this works. Like 5 different packaging standards, now it'll be one. Oh, interesting. Okay. I thought it was already just one standard, like, with the requirements.txt and something. I don't remember exactly, but the way it works. But yeah, I thought this was the standard. I wasn't aware of others. Just surprised that there was no standard yet. Yeah. Setup.cfg. Interesting. Wasn't actually aware. Python packaging is honestly shit. Really? Okay. By the way, like, is pip not the package manager for Python? I thought PyPy was the repository, right? Yeah. This is the repository and the installer is pip. Okay. I guess for Node, both are called NPM. NPM is the package manager as well as the repository. Like the repository website is NPM as well. Pip is a package manager, right? Right. Yeah, no, it's just in Node, both are just the same. It's just NPM is the catchword for both of them. So Python had no lock file, so no transitive dependency pinning. Oh, interesting. How is it managed then? How was it managed, if that was the case? Like, we have had Python projects. People created pyproject.toml and the poetry package manager to make it like NPM. Interesting. Huh. So you're saying, like, if you didn't use poetry, you would basically not have dependency pinning at all. That sounds like you can't really make a large project work with pip then. How would it work at all? Try to install some packages with NPM and couldn't even do. I don't know. Sounds like your NPM setup was fucked. I tried to install this Markdown PDF and it never worked. I don't know. Again, sounds like a setup issue. I don't think you should have problems with being able to install packages. It was managed by just praying that the transitive dependencies will be fine. Oh my god. Okay. It's surprising that it took this long for that to get sort of stand. So is that solved now by PEP 665? Yeah, transitive dependencies. That's what I meant. Right. Yeah, dependencies can be pinned, of course, by just specifying the exact version. But yeah, you would want your transitive dependencies to be pinned as well. I don't know. Sounds like it should be installable. It has like 3,000 weekly downloads. It'll be solved now. Okay. Good to hear, I suppose. I'm not super familiar with the model for Python's, anything really, but yeah, just somewhat familiar with the language, but not really the ecosystem around it. I haven't worked with Python in a professional capacity, so. How far have you gotten with the app? Not very far. Markdown PDF depends on WKHTML to PDF. I don't know what that is. Really? Oh. Tasks. Fuck it. So this is all part of the same thing. Okay, task view model. Okay. This is fine. This is fine. Alright. I think this all makes sense. View models. Ooh, test doubles and dependency injection. Oh yeah, I wanted to know how the DI is set up for Android. I haven't exactly seen Hilt before. I've seen Dagger. I think Hilt should be very, very similar, but there should be some Android-specific components as well. Spent a week on it in my last internship. Not worth it. HTML to PDF. Okay, interesting. Funnily enough, not during my internship, but during my first full-time employment also, I did spend some time with an HTML to PDF software. It wasn't this one though. It wasn't the NPM, whatever, NPM package or whatever. We were planning to use it to email a PDF of the report webpage. Abandoned the idea. Yeah, it doesn't sound worth it. I mean, if you have HTML, I think you should be able to embed it in the email itself for the most part. Especially if it's like a report or something, it won't really have JavaScript or anything. So, you should be able to embed that within the email body. Almost any modern HTML client will support WK HTML to PDF and industry standards. I think we might have been using a software which this depended on. So interesting. I feel like I've seen this before, but maybe not. Maybe it's just another website which looks the same. Everyone uses them as a dependency. Okay, understandable. LGPLv3 command line tools. Entirely headless. Do not require a display or display service. There's also a C library. Get hardcore. Interesting. This looks pretty good. Okay, it is 11:30. I do have to eat and then get to work. I will send you guys elsewhere. Let's see. Is Somewhat Accurate live? Oh yeah, he is. Awesome. I'll send you guys across. All right, so catch you guys next time. Tomorrow's stream, blah blah blah. Is that a suggestion of a streamer? I could send you somewhere else. Yeah. Oh, learning JavaScript sounds cool. Sounds cool. All right, fun. Okay, might as well.
Right, that's a thing.
Copy. Stream. Great channel.
And then we are console logging. So this is what it looks like console logged. Let me show the
All right,
window.
cool. Isn't she cute? Simp. You know it. All right, so I'll catch you guys in the next stream. Wait, is she done? Oh, she'll be back in some time. All right, cool.
Okay.
Bye bye.